Hello. Today we're going to give you a brief tour of the hydraulic burst leak tester. First, you'll notice the inlet of the HBLT. On the right side here is a quick disconnect. Crescent Design can provide this carboy, which will hold up to 2 gallons of water. It has a hose attached and the quick disconnect fitting on the other end, which simply gets plugged into the HBLT. We recommend the use of distilled water. Some customers use DI water, but we don't recommend DI water greater than 1 megohm. If the customer chooses to provide their own container, then we can provide or will provide this quick disconnect fitting with it. In addition, it's important, there are certain things to remember when you're using this. We recommend that this container remain at the same level as the HBLT on the table. There is a document that we have called the Quick Tips, and it includes this and a number of other things. On the other side of the HBLT is the outlet. So the HBLT intakes water through this fitting, and the mechanism side pumps the water through the outlet here. This fitting is a standard 1/8 NPT fitting, which allows the customer to provide a wide range of connections to their product for testing. Crescent Design can provide this simple accessory, the outlet plumbing kit. It's simply a piece of stainless steel tubing with the necessary 1/8 NPT fitting to connect to the outlet, plus an adapter that also 1/8 NPT that can be connected to these fittings here. One is a male lure fitting, the other is a female lure fitting, and this additional one here is a 2E Borst fitting, plus some additional seals that can be used. Now we're going to switch and give you a tour of the back of the machine. Now let's take a tour of the back of the HBLT. You'll notice we have some connectors and we have the power inlet module. On the power inlet module, we use a standard IEC power cord, and we provide the correct cord for whatever location the HBLT may be sent to. It simply plugs into the module like so, and the on-off switch is a toggle at the top, 1 and 0. I also want to point out that this is where the fuse is for the HBLT. It's a module that is pulled out using a small screwdriver. The fuse can be replaced there and then reinserted. This is also where the HBLT can be switched to 220 power from 110. These connectors over here are the printer connector, which is a Centronics style printer, which are still available. The expansion port that allows the HBLT to be connected to other peripherals, which will be covered in other videos or in the manual. And then we have the serial connection here, which is used when connected to a PC running pressure manager software. Now I'd like to give you a quick tour of the display and menus of the hydraulic burst leak testers and show you some of its features and functions and how easy it is to use. Okay, let's take a look at the touchscreen interface on the hydraulic burst leak tester. This is a touch screen and should be cleaned with simply a soft cloth and some mild detergent. It should only be used with your finger, no sharp implements please. So I'm going to turn the unit on. The first screen we see shows the pressure of the tester, 1000 psi, and the software version, in this case 2.52. Here we hit the go button and we move to the main menu. Here we have choices: purge the tester, run a test, and the engineering menu. Purge the tester is what should be done every morning, and I'm going to select that. It describes it briefly. We have a single cycle purge, a continuous purge, and volume correction. We'll discuss volume correction another time, but The single cycle purge and continuous purge are covered in other videos on how to purge the HBLT. We'll escape back to the main menu. Here we have Run the Test. This is where the tests are selected that are stored in the HBLT. You may enter an operator name if you wish, or not, and move on to a lot code where you could put in a lot number if you wish, or not, and move on. You'll notice now we have 10 tests listed on this page, and there are 4 pages of tests for a total of 40 tests that can be stored internally in the hydraulic burst leak tester. I'm not actually going to run a burst test. That was done in a different video, but I'm just going to show you that if we select it, the first thing it does is give you a brief description of the test to make sure that this is the one that you want. You select OK and it will move to do the test. If you hit escape, you go back to the main menu. Now let's choose the engineering menu. Here we have many choices. The first one being Edit Test Information. This is where we're going to select it. We create a new test. We edit old tests. We can print the tests that are stored inside, or we may delete the tests. You'll also notice 2 buttons for import and export. This allows 2 HBLTs to be connected together, and tests may be imported or exported from one to the other to prevent transpositional errors. This is also where the password may be changed to prevent access to the engineering menu and the creation of tests. Let's move on to Perform Calibration. Perform calibration is where you perform calibration and where the various choices are for calibration warnings and expiration. You may print a calibration report, and this is also where you would set the calibration password if you chose to have one. We'll escape back here. System configuration. We have many choices under system configuration about the operation of the HBLT. We won't cover any of them in great detail. You can see a number of them here relating to reports and various warnings, purging of the HBLT, the speed at which it can do it. And we have multiple pages, so I'm going to move to the next page. Remote control. You'll notice that this one is enabled so that it may be connected to our Pressure Manager or Lab Genie software. Other choices allow remote output of the data to other PCs. This is also, you'll notice, download a new program. This is where you would download a new program in the event that you wanted to upgrade to a different version or even downgrades for some reason. There are some others here that have to do with specialized testing. We won't go into detail on those. You will notice, though, enable gauge measurement. It is possible to connect a contact micrometer to the HBLT directly and allow it to do coordinated pressure versus diameter tests. We're going to go to the next page. Here's where you would choose dual passwords, one for calibration and one for engineering. This is also where you may enable the safety door switch. It's a kit that we can provide that will prevent the HBLT from operating without the safety door closed. Some other specialized settings for vacuum position, printing the test settings. You'll notice the HBLT name. This one is currently undefined. You could put either a number or a name if you chose to, and then any reports generated from this particular tester or any HBLT would carry that name or number so that you could always know which HBLT did the test. Next screen has to do with starting a test. Group start has to do with doing group tests, and diagnostics having to do with some basic diagnostics of the HBLT. We'll just go here and take a quick look. Touchscreen test, pressurization count, and smart manifold. The touchscreen test allows you to test the display. Smart manifold, if you had a smart manifold, this is where you would could do some testing, and the others are not important right now. Set the date and time. Here it's very simple. We always set the date and time for the location that the HBLT will be in when it arrives, but you may move the machine and need to change it. This is where you do it. And browse the test is where an operator who is not authorized to edit the test may go in and choose a test and look at all of the parameters to ensure that it is in fact the test that they want. And then we escape all the way back to the main menu. Thank you.